Hello and welcome to the Critically Curious. Today we are in, of course, Mount and Blade, and we're continuing our Let's Play series. Now, currently, what we're trying to do is make a stable kingdom. So we're in the middle of going to war against one of the last two nations I feel we're going to go to war with. I'm really hoping we get the last point in leadership that we need as well. If we get that, we get to have an extra party, which is going to be actually pretty huge for us and the kind of numbers that we're going to be able to call forward, which is, you know, like I said, really, really good. Being able to have an army of your own companions without costing any influence is massive. So getting that extra party at leadership level 250 is really, really cool. It's hard to get, you know, leveling up your leadership isn't easy. You have to have a mindset for that from like the beginning of the game. So I'm glad that we are so close to there now. Now we are, of course, defending the same castle yet again. This is 800 versus 500 troops. Should be pretty straightforward battle. We do have pretty leveled troops. We do have a lot of weak troops as well, but we do have like 100 of the best archers in a game, so them alone should be able to do a decent amount of damage. Now I'm going to get my infantry to actually start marching forward. They are slow. So the battle started. We've ordered engage, not charge, not going to go absolutely mad. We've ordered engage. We've also got our horse archers engaging. Not that we have a lot of them anyway. And of course, we're going to bring up our archers. Now, general rule of thumb, whenever we fight, we do try to protect our archers. If we can get them on high ground, absolutely amazing. But generally try to position those archers in well and bring the infantry up to, of course, defend them. The cavalry is what we kind of use to both distract troops and do a significant amount of damage as well. But it's the archers that, if you can get them in the right spot, they're going to be doing a ton of damage. And of course, in theory, not get hurt at the same time, which is quite nice for us. That's what we're aiming for. Making sure everyone is marching up. Now, we do have our trusty bow on us, and we will try and get a few kills, but we're not going to be able to get any levels, unfortunately, because we haven't put any points into that. See if we can get those archers even closer in. Of course, we're going to get them right up behind everything else we have. And that will also mean not only are they closer to the enemy, but they're also well defended too. Now, I wanted to take a moment to kind of talk about kingdom management. I know I'm not showing you it on the screen, but I feel like it's important to talk because I know that quite a lot of people are watching these episodes. Maybe they're picking up this episode for the very first time. I'm getting comments still on a channel about, you know, how do you make it so you don't have 5 people attacking you at once? How do you even manage battles like that? The thing I need to try and put forward in these videos is that having a kingdom and having an established kingdom are two very, very different things. And the way it works in Bannerlords is that if you just jump up, make yourself a kingdom, you have perhaps you have a few different you know, castles and towns, and perhaps you even have a few clans with you now. You know, you're still relatively a new kingdom. You're still relatively a small kingdom. You might not have any money. You might not have any influence built up. You might not have relations built up. And you probably certainly don't have the troops to match the other rival kingdoms as well. So you need to manage your kingdom in such a way that you are able to defend and manage your kingdom. So at the beginning, that's going to mean, unfortunately, you're not going to like it, but paying the rival kingdoms you know, a truce, a treaty, so that way they don't attack you. That way you have time to build up, because imagine it back in the day as well. You know, in real life history, other kingdoms would have paid other kingdoms to tribute. You know, if, for instance, you had a gigantic empire on your back, you want to let them know that they're appreciated, and give them a small sum just to leave you alone. It works that well and that way in Bannerlords as well. Until a time, as we are doing, we are very slowly, like when we very first created a kingdom, and you can watch back throughout all the episodes, you can see that we were attacked by an awful lot. We were paying out about 5-6 different nations money every single day. It sucked. It was a huge drain on resources. We had to have a lot of money stepped up to prepare for that, and we went under many different things in order to make sure we were ready to have a kingdom, because we knew that was coming basically. And now we're going through the process of fighting back at all of those kingdoms, showing them that we are an independent kingdom ourselves, that we don't need them anymore. We don't need their protection. We don't need to pay them. And one by one, we're slowly getting it. And we're also, more importantly, recruiting those clans as well. So that way we can actually rival other kingdoms in clans. We're actually a similar size to not only the kingdom that we're fighting right now, but all the other kingdoms that we've been fighting as well. Valandia are the only real superpower left in the game. We actually match up very, very well to every other kingdom. And so we are going through those processes of making sure that we kind of, you know, earn the right to be an independent kingdom. But it does take time. It is something that isn't very easy. And it is something that you have to really work towards. I mean, this is Bannerlords after all. Nothing is handed to you. Nothing is easy. Nothing is quick. And so it works that way with a kingdom as well. Just wanted to go over it because, as I said, we've been getting a lot of comments about it on various different videos. And of course, I do make lots more videos on Bannerlords, especially relating to purely console players. And of course, we are, you know, we're actively playing this in 2023 as well. So hopefully you guys understand a little bit better or appreciate the game the way it actually is, rather than thinking that perhaps it is Age of Empires, as someone popped it down in the Discord. Now, in that battle, we actually done very well. We didn't lose many troops. We got a ton of prisoners, which I'm quite happy with. Now, we are going to be trying to take every single prisoner we can. We're going to be trying to defeat every single army we can. Quick note that our army size then was 666, which is interesting. Whenever we get a lord as a prisoner, I'm actually going to try and pop them in a castle, preferably in my castle, so that way I know that they're not going to be sold. And the more prisoners we actually get, the more of their lords we actually get, the more war score we're going to be scoring, of course. And that's what we want. We want them to crack. We want them to want their people back, want their lords back, want their land back, want the raids to stop, because that's then when they offer us peace and when we get that sweet payday ourselves, which is what we're looking for. I don't necessarily want to wipe them out right now. I just want them to bleed enough to want it to stop. Now, we do have quite a generous march size, but we are going to need to improve upon the amount of troops we actually have. And we're also going to want to sort out this cohesion that we have too. There we go, not bad. Now, a couple of those lords are actually a little bit weak, but I don't really want to get rid of them right now. Didn't manage to succeed in improving our leadership, but we have got our one-handed skill in. I thought I'd done that earlier, but it is what it is. And let's see if we can recruit any more troops. I like seeing the fact that we got another couple of armies roaming around. What I don't like to see is the fact how weak they are. They're not exactly the strongest of of armies, but is what it is. That's what we have. Oh, there is a little battle going on here. I don't know if we're going to get there in time. They've run away. And apparently we're chasing the wrong group. How annoying. Oh, and they just done a big win there. Okay, so what are we looking at? We are looking at another 900 versus those 500. So a similar battle to what we just had. Again, this should be quite a straightforward battle. I'm quite excited because there did look like there was quite a few parties there belonging to the enemy. So we might be able to do a decent job at those captures again. Fingers crossed. And again, we're going to take this battle the same way we took it last time, guys. We're going to make sure we move those infantry units forward into engaging. The same with those horse archers. We're also going to make sure we try and move those archers up and into that battle as quick as possible. Remember, it's those in this playthrough, in at least this army we have now, we have very, very strong archers. Possibly the strongest in the game, and it's those units that are going to do an absolute, madman of damage. But we are going to need to protect them as well, so keeping them alive, moving them into position, that's what's key for us in our army. It's not going to be the same for every army. Some armies will lean more into the infantry side, and you may want to get off your horse and actually be on that battlefield and fight side by side with your men. Other armies are going to lead more into the Valandian cavalry side of it, and maybe even be made up entirely of cavalry, which again isn't necessarily a bad option, but you are going to be playing a little bit differently to how I am. So it looks like there's a nice chokehold here. I very much doubt they're going to attack us. Unfortunately, they are the weaker side. So it looks like they're going to sit back and defend. So we're going to need to move our troops actually into battle a little bit more. Wondered if perhaps their cavalry was trying to swoop around to the side, but I don't think they're able to cross the river, and we've just taken the bridge by the looks of it as well. Infantry! Move! Archers! So move all these forward. Try and get all of the units into battle as quickly as possible, while of course still keeping some relevance of shape. Let's see if we can hit anyone. We are hitting 35 damage, 34 damage, 27, 40. Nice. See, we are doing some damage. They are also hitting us though, so that's not cool. Still an achievement. I think I need to get a headshot over 200 meters away. That's quite far away. Don't think I'll ever get that achievement. Let me know down in the comments if that is an achievement you have managed to acquire. Let's move our troops in. Now everyone seems to be gathered up. We are moving them directly into archery range. Not much we can do about that, unfortunately. Get them to move with me. Get the cavalry up here. Maybe we can get the cavalry to do a side charge on them, which would be very, very good. Attack them from two sides, if not. Don't think we can get this damage down. Our infantry is beginning to move in now. Cavalry is about catching up with us too. Get the big bad boy sword out. Let's see if we get mostly reds or if we get mostly greens. I'd like to see a wave of greens, to be fair. Now, it looks like their cavalry, perhaps even their lords, were camped up here. So let's see if we can do any damage and knock them out. Horsemen. It's horsemen we have up here. Heavily armored horsemen. But you know what? Single-handedly took them out. Not bad. Let's see if we can distract these archers of theirs. Oh, we actually killed one. Very nice. A trained warrior. They have got their infantry sitting in front of their archers as well. I think this is quite an easy win for us by the looks of things. Wow, look at that. That is awash with green, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. That's what we wanted. That's what we were looking for. That is a lot of green. I think this battle is already won. Nice and simple, that really. Nice and simple. Now, this game does constantly go on sale, guys. So if you are looking to pick it up, and if you are looking to play on console, it's always going on sale. So keep an eye if you haven't picked it up already. It is a great game, a huge game. And if you're not playing Starfield, you're not playing Baldur's Gate 3, then perhaps this is the game for you. It does offer something that not many games do, and that is, you know, kingdom management, kingdom building. A little medieval simulation game. See if we can find these last guys. Where are they? Looks like they're fighting down to the last man. I think they've only got a few people left, to be fair, but I think possibly these were the reinforcements that spawned in. I like that we got a few kills in this battle. Not our best, but we did get a few kills, which is quite nice. Do want to avoid being knocked out or killed ourselves, however. That would not look good for the troop morale. Still so many of their soldiers dying. All that green is pretty nice. Let's order charge. Make sure we mop up anyone else left. They're all running now. Look at them. All fleeing. That's it, guys. That is the battle one. That is actually the second battle that we've won in a row now. Big numbers as well. That's not too bad. Now, what do we do on prisoners? Do we actually get anyone? We got 2.
Good to see you here.
We only got 2. I'm a little bit disappointed by that. Only 2. I was hoping for more. Did get a few troops that we can level up, though. We do need to get a ton more of basic units, to be fair. And we have a longbow, but of course that longbow can't be used on horseback, unfortunately. But some good loot there. Don't forget, if you are looking to smith, then keep every single weapon that you actually get during during war, because you can just smelt that all down and manage to get yourself some good amount of components. Now, we did manage to get to level 250 on leadership, which is absolutely awesome. Did take us the 2 battles, but we have got it finally. Now, we actually managed to increase our march size, not by a huge amount, but I think a generous amount. And then we also got that extra party slot too, which, as we said earlier, is exactly what we were looking for. So now we need to recruit. Let's pop those prisoners back at base as well. Make sure that we don't let them escape. Now, who do we actually have? We have 2 governors still. Now, I don't feel like we need the governors at the moment. I did mention that earlier. So we're going to bring them back. Now, that was my smithy. So I actually want him back in the group anyway, because it's going to make it a little bit easier for me having a decent leveled smith as well. Or at least an extra one. I have also made 2 more. I believe my surgeon and I want to say my sister are smiths. $750 troops, not bad. Would like it to read over 1,000, but I'll take that. We have another army marching towards them as well anyway. Now, I do need to start looking for better gear. I know for a fact that I don't have the best gear in the game. It's not something that we ever really done on the channel, on this playthrough at least, to hunt down the better gear. But it is something I do need to do. But I think I need a little bit more money, because if we find something good, like for instance this is a better armor helmet than we already have, but it costs an absolute fortune. And if we was to kit out our entirety, we're going to need a bloody lot. We're talking like 1.5 million probably, maybe even more, to kit everything out. And I just don't have that spare at the moment, but that is something I would like to do. I think we managed to get decent gear, considering, of course, I think horse armor was absolute paramount early game. Managed to find a decent one of that as well, which is quite pretty good. I almost sold the lords, which would have been a bad idea. And that is the garrison. We didn't want the garrison. We wanted the dungeon and manage the prisoners. This is, of course, my town, which is why it's so stocked out with troops. We've got another 2 lords to add in, and it looks like they got a number of prisoners as well. Let's see if we can take all of them out and sell them all in the tavern. I only wish I had more points to put into roguery. I really do. We'd be earning so many points right now. Take all of those out. Out. There we go. And we are over our cap, but of course that doesn't matter because we're not moving. And then sell all the prisoners. Might as well hire those spearmen, to be fair. 13? That's not a bad number, especially only for 2,000. Now, I think what else we need to do is possibly look at kitting out that extra party member. Got some upgrades to do. Nice. Clan and parties. And as you can see, we have 4 out of the 5 we can now have. I'm trying to look for who would have a decent march size, because we don't have the best companions. I think probably the spice vendor. The stewardship's pretty high. Want to keep the surgeon no matter what. Want to keep the smith as well. So yeah, I think we're going to go for the spice vendor. Make them a party leader. Only 115, but you know what? 115 is better than nothing. So let's see if we've got 100 troops or so to kit out. Now, I typically give them my lower end troops because I want to keep the good ones on myself. And to be fair, when I'm looking for an army, I'm more interested in numbers. This is, of course, a numbers game after all. It will mean that after we're done, though, we're going to have to look around for those extra troops that we're giving out. She has 80. No, she has 91 now. Sturgeon recruits. We certainly don't need any of those. Well, 112 isn't bad. I think I will keep the rest. That leaves us just over 250 as well. So we've got a nice amount that we can improve upon there too. And so if we go to army, we can actually bring that party in. It's kind of cool to see that we're running 3 armies at the moment. I do have a couple of party members that I do need to pop out, to be fair, but I don't want to do it right now. I'd rather have those troops on me, especially as I need to actually grab up a load of troops as well. Let's see what trouble we can get into. We're sitting just under 800 troops, so that's not too bad. Every little helps. We're going to get every bloody troop we can recruit. Another 3, that's not too bad. We're going to obviously head towards their area as well, and see what towns possibly we can look at raiding. Or maybe we can see if they've got a half-decent army to attack. We've already taken out 2 in this video though, so that's not too bad. Not at all. It would be nice to find one last battle, to be fair. Like I said, I try to make these videos as entertaining as possible, and I think that's been pretty good. What we've had 2 large battles, but I think better than 2 large battles would be 3 large battles. Nice, almost getting up to 300 troops there now. Got one of our armies there too. In a battle, losing a battle. Oosh, there is a lot here. Let's see if we can get in, help them out. I think we're late. I think that army is dead, unfortunately. Let's help out. 864 versus 864. Well, that's a bit of symmetry, isn't it? Very interesting. Well, let me know down in the comments, guys, how you think this is going to go. I mean, to be fair, it is a battle I could lose. Hasn't happened on the channel yet, but we'll see. So it looks like we've got a personal guard. We don't need any of those guys, so let's let them follow us. And you know what? What we've been doing so far has been working. So we're going to keep up to that. We're going to get our infantry to engage, and we're going to bring up the archers. Now, the problem is we do not outnumber them for once, so they are just absolutely ploughing into us, which is unexpected. Ah, do you see there? We've got their cavalry coming up now as well. Okay, so the battle has definitely already commenced. We've got the infantry smashing into each other. We've got the archers supporting from behind. Let's make sure we actually try and help them out a little bit. Try and get in a kill or two. Hold the line and all that. Now there is a wash of green here. We are certainly hitting them harder than they are hitting us. And we're doing our bit as well. Nice few little kills there. We are looking a little bit thin though. I'm not liking that. Let's try and reorganize the troops a little bit. Make that go into a shield wall. Hold the line. And then our archers are still doing their business. Let's get the cavalry involved as well. Trying to help out a little bit. There's so much going on here. We're getting a lot of red now too. Not liking this. So we've had reinforcements. That's what's happened. We've had reinforcements. They're at the back. So our armies are a little bit split right now. So we need to try and get everyone back together so that way we can actually work as, you know, one army. A bit of an issue. But at least we figured out what was going on. So let's try and organise some kind of a regroup. They still have a decent size of troops, but it does look like the battle is going our way. Getting a lot of green now as well, which is good. That means that their troops are dying. Might as well finish this battle off with a big old charge. Because I think we bloody won this, guys. And I think we won it rather easily as well. Considering we were matched man for man, which has not happened for a very long time. That's quite rare, that is, when you get like an even fight, do you know what I mean? Especially, you know, even in this episode, we've outnumbered them twice now. This is the third big battle that we've had, and the only one in which you could say we weren't the favourites, but our upgraded troops over there, probably not so upgraded troops, the fact that they were disorganised when we attacked as well, which means they probably had, you know, low morale going in, that's what's managed to turn the tide here and win this battle with absolute ease. I wouldn't say that we out-tactics them, because we didn't really use any huge tactics. We've done pretty much what they've done. We just had the better troops. But there we go, guys. We have got ourselves another victory. That's 3 battles and 3 wins. I'm pretty happy with that. And of course, we got some more prisoners, and we all know how good prisoners are. We got 3, 4, any more? 5,
Enough.
6, 7, 8. 8 lords, guys, there. That is massive. 8 more lords to add to our prisoner pile. But guys, I'm going to end this episode here. I think it's been bloody brilliant. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I will catch you next week for another episode. Until next time, I've been a monk who's been critically curious. I will see you in the next video real soon. Until then, take it easy and happy gaming.